My name is Abe Jacobson. I work at Crystal Ski Shop. I'm from Washington, D.C. I experience nature probably 2 to 3 times a week. I go anywhere from Breckenridge and Vale to around here in Eldora, Berthoud Pass. More of like split boarding, a lot of backcountry snowboarding is what I'm into right now. Snowboarding to me is a real special experience. It's a real fun thing. It's kind of a time where you get to be free and do whatever you want. And it really is when you feel in nature and you're in the natural world and you're not in a city where there's a hustle and bustle and everybody's just aggressive. And the first time I realized I was immersed in nature was when I was in a backcountry snowboarding trip. I went cat skiing in Utah. And that was the first time I really noticed it, because we just went to this whole different, part of the mountain that was totally new. Like, it was just backcountry that hadn't been ridden yet that year. So it was really cool just to experience real nature raw like that. Snowboard through that. That was real special. I definitely think the opposite of nature is just more of the idea of there being a lot of greed in the world. And people just really only thinking about themselves and really just having the wrong idea about life. The experience of snowboarding is definitely different from being in the regular world, because when you're snowboarding, you really are kind of free. You have a lot more room to play around. You really just get to draw your own line. Yeah, I do think there's a problem with modern day society's relationship with it, because most of our relationship with nature is just trashing nature nowadays. I'd definitely say our view of nature is a lot more disrespectful to nature. In Japan, a lot of Japanese people actually don't like to ski and snowboard in their trees because they believe that their souls and their ancestors in there. And they just have so much respect for nature. And it's just a big part of their upbringing there. And I feel like American society as a whole doesn't really care about nature. The Vail Corporation is a good example of this. They're just in it for the money. They're not really in it for the skiers and the snowboarders. They're really in it for the money and the vacation and everything like that. Not as much the nature and experience. The majority of the people that live in the United States, especially in these big cities, do not really experience nature and appreciate it. One time I felt threatened by nature was when I was cat skiing. We actually just watched an avalanche go by. And that was a really nerve-wracking time, just because, obviously I wasn't in the avalanche, but it was like, okay, these avalanches are real and they happen, and there's something that we have to be careful of. And that could have just taken any one of us out. I feel like you can never feel 100% safe, because you're just never sure, because, you never know what Mother Nature is going to throw at you. I think you definitely should have those uncertainties when you're out there. Just because when you're 100% certain and you always think you're safe, you just don't take the precautions that you should. Definitely learned a lot from nature. Nature just kind of keeps you humble. You really just notice that, everything's bigger than you in the world, just a little person. And, the fun thing about snowboarding is that really is just you more in nature, and you do everything with your hands, even in the backcountry. I don't know, I feel more connected to nature when I snowboard, and I just feel like I really have a relationship with it, especially when you're just out there by yourself, just appreciating nature, and you just get to enjoy it. I feel like a lot of people don't get to experience that, but I feel like that's something everybody should. I would think that as a snowboarder, I'm connected to nature in other ways people aren't, because when you're snowboarding, you're really interacting with nature, and you get a real viewpoint of it, instead of just a lot of other people who just view nature from their TV or their computer. When I snowboard and I hike and I just, ride, certain lines, or all the lines, you just feel like you're in nature and you're just really interacting with nature, and that's a special feeling. It looks like we might not have much of a relationship in the future with nature for snowboarders, just because it looks like snow's diminishing so much, and honestly, the way we're going, who knows how much longer snowboarding and skiing is going to be able to be a thing.